Hello, my name is Rich Kikase. I'm a professor of computer science at Pensacola State College and also a digital faculty consultant from McGraw-Hill. Today I'm going to show you how to use SIMpath, which is a part of SIMnet, and it's a tool that we found to be very effective in helping students reinforce their learning. In case you're not familiar with SIMpath, it's very similar in nature to the interactive textbook that is part of SIMnet, but uh, unlike the e-textbook, SIMpath uses an approach, as I'm saying here, a targeted approach to teaching students. The idea of it is that we start with a pre-test to get an idea of students' strengths and weaknesses. And then a lesson is created using the interactive textbook format so that students can just work on those skills that they're having problems with. And then to ensure that they have learned all those skills, they can go ahead and take a post-test. So we found that this is a better approach than just telling students to read a certain chapter of the textbook and to go through the interactive exercises, because all too often students really just gloss over a lot of the information, and then in the process will miss things that they really don't know. And then when they go to take a test or do an assignment, they realize that they don't know all that they thought they did. So this really just focuses on those weaknesses. There are several advantages to using SIMpath, and as you can see here, the major advantage is that students receive a lesson that is customized to what they need to know. Once that lesson has been created, they can go over it as often as they want to. They can, of course, go to the interactive textbook at any time that they want, but this, again, as I've stated before, will just emphasize the things that they had problems with. Another advantage is that unlike the interactive textbook, you can decide what things that are most important to the student or for the student to know, and then just create a sim path for those tasks. And I'll demonstrate that very shortly. The other thing that you can do is you can decide what things are gradable, what things they must do, and so forth. Again, I'll demonstrate that here very shortly. You should be aware, though, that the SIMpath is what is considered core level content. It's not from the adopted textbook. I actually find that to be an advantage because then they're getting reinforcement from another textbook or their default textbook. Also, you can only set up the pre-test one time, but the post-test can have multiple attempts. Additionally, you can set up the post-test to retest all the skills rather than just the ones that they had difficulties with. So how effective is this? Well, just as an example here, I pulled one of my past semesters. This is my spring 2016 Computer Concepts and Application class, which covers Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. And you can see here that I had 3 sections, and so for each one we had pretty high percentage receiving an A or a B plus. And you can also see here that D's and F's are almost a thing of the past. All right, so let me go ahead and show you how you set this up. All right, so I have logged into SIMnet, and I have, as you can see here, quite a few SIMpaths already created, but I'm just going to go ahead and create a very, very simple one. So I'm going to come to SIMpath, and I'm going to click the Create button. Whoops, looks like I need to log in again. My apologies. There we go. So, okay, so we're back to, so I have logged into SIMnet, and here we see our list of SIMpaths, which I have quite a few, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new SIMpath. Okay, so for my purposes, I'm just going to call this demonstration. And I'm going to leave the defaults there. Normally you want the pre-test to be a scenario. You can change it. So if you want it to be an actual graded assessment, you can do that. But we're going to leave the defaults for now. I'll click the next button here, and this should look very familiar to you. So I'm going to choose the textbook that we're currently using, which is In Practice. And here again, you can choose specific chapters or all chapters. I'm just going to start off with Word Chapter 1. And I'm going to then pick, I'm going to filter it. Since this is a demonstration, I'm just going to select some easy ones. So I'm going to create a new blank file. And this goes back to what I was saying before, that you can pick and choose what tasks you want students to be well versed in. So I'm going to have one here where they select a word, and then I'll have them cut the deleted or cut the selected sentence. Okay, so these are all I'm going to put in. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you the preferences that you can modify. So here is the first one, the SIMpath, the overall SIMpath preferences. And you can see that all you have to do is click Edit, and you can change different settings here. The specific pretest preferences. So, if I come in here and choose Edit, notice that I cannot change the pretest to any higher attempts there. So, but these others I can change. Okay, and then same for the post-test, and the exam attempts there can be changed. This is how many question attempts, or how many attempts per question, and so forth. You can go through all these, and then we can go ahead and set it up for a class assignment. Now, what I'm going to do here as a test is I'm going to put it in one of my classes that has already ended. So I'm going to go ahead and add it there. I'm going to tell it, we're just going to set the date for today. As you can see, it's June 5th. Okay, so forth. So you can have all the settings here that you want. I'm just going to set it all for today. And these should all look familiar to you as different things that you can set up. You want to allow them a open book for pretest. Generally, you don't want to do that because the whole idea is to find out what things they don't know. You may want to do it for the post-test because in general we have, well, I guess it depends on your preferences if you want to allow that for a student when they take an exam. Okay, so we have the setup. Now, how does this work? Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into the Sim student view for that class. And there's the demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. And you can see, by the way, we can allow the student to skip the pretest, but if they do that, then they get the entire lesson. So you might want to turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and take the pretest. And you can see here that it gives me the first one. It's telling me to create a new blank file. And I'm going to go ahead and purposely click the wrong thing. new, and same thing twice, and this should have, see that I'm up here to the third attempt. So I'll do new, take a tour, incorrect, and now it'll move on to the next one. It says select the word weekly, so I'll do that. Correct. And then I'll go ahead and cut this and correct. So now the exam has ended. So there it shows you what you did. And now I'm going to go back to the SIMpath. Okay, so now you see that once we've done that, we can no longer take a test. We can go ahead and take the lesson or skip the lesson. Again, you can control whether or not you want the student to do that. You may want to force them to take the lesson. I'm going to pull up the lesson and notice now that there's only one thing I need to do here. And so I can do the let me try, go ahead and create a new blank file. Okay, click to close, come back. And now I can advance to the post-test. And again, the post-test that I'll go ahead and do this one. Correct. And I'm ending the exam. Again, you can change that so that they have to take all of them. But that's the basic idea of using a SIMpath. So hopefully you will incorporate this into your courses in the future, and I hope that you've had success with this. If you have any questions, please email me. My email is at the start of this tape. Thank you.